Hi everybody, how's it going today? Thanks for watching another video. In our milk house here, as you can see, it's been raining here all day and it's freezing, so conditions outside are not very good. It's pure ice everywhere. Everything's covered in ice. There's about ½ inch of ice on the roads. It's not very good outside. It's dark here now. Didn't have my camera with me earlier and I probably should have, but back at the dairy, a couple of our guys hit the ditch with their truck. It's, even if you're just driving 15 miles an hour going straight, if you get a little gust of wind is enough to push you into the ditch, it seems like. But I got them pulled out, and then on the way back to the dairy, the power went out. My dad called me because the power went out at their house, and I saw that the lights flickered at the dairy also, and some of the lights are still off. There's always a few things we have to check when the power does go out. So we do have a generator that runs the entire farm, but I always like to make sure the cooling's on the milk tanks, and strange yellow just means that power was out. It looks like it was actually out twice. And then our air compressor, for whatever reason, pretty much everything fires back up. The generator's quick enough, but our air compressor's got a lag. One of our guys just came in to make sure everything was good in here. But like I was saying, everything else, the generator comes on immediately. As soon as it senses a power outage, it fires up and it transfers. It takes about 2-3 seconds to transfer, and it's quick enough that everything, all the VFDs, all that stuff keeps running. The only thing is, by our separator, sometimes the screw press will not come back on, and sometimes some of the VFDs for the separators, but they did here just now. My dad went over there to check that out. But our air compressor is the one that just about all the time we have to reset the fire back up. Not sure why that is, but we'll head over there, check that out. I did start that up already prior to start filming this, because I want to get things going and make sure things are going. We do have a backup air compressor that does come back on immediately, but it's a smaller compressor. This is the transfer switch for our generator, and this light is green. That means we've got power from the power lines, from the power company, but we are running on the generator at the moment. So this means the generator's running. This means we're receiving power from the generator, and it's going to run for 5 more minutes before transferring back to power from Northern Plains, from our power company. If in the time period, I think it runs for about 20 minutes. If within that 20 minutes it flickers again, it'll restart that timer, and it'll keep doing that until we get good power for at least 20 minutes. Got about 5 minutes left here, it looks like. More than likely there's some power lines that have some ice built up on them or something, I'm assuming. Fredo and Christian just finished feeding calves here. So this air compressor always shuts off when the power goes out, and then you just have to restart it up, but you always have to watch this thing. For whatever reason, sometimes this compressor can start up in reverse. And we don't want that, because then it starts spitting out oil all over the place. So we always have to watch it a few minutes after starting it back up, make sure it's running in the right direction. Not sure why that's even possible, but it is. That's our generator just outside the building here. That generator is able to power everything at the farm here. 100%. Everything will keep going if we're on the generator. We'll probably catch back up with you guys tomorrow morning. I could show you how icy it is out here. Milk trucks loaded after the sun came out, kind of mid-morning. They did not attempt to go to Fargo because the roads were just absolutely brutal. They both got stuck leaving the yard because they couldn't make the turn, and even though we had put sand down, they still couldn't make the turn out the yard. I got them pointed back straight towards, to stay on the road, and they got going again, but it was just too dangerous to head out on the roads to try to get to Fargo. They're gonna try to go tomorrow if possible. So we did bump the alarm up on the milk silo, so we'll have to keep an eye on that, or wait to hear from them to see what the plan is. It's the next morning here. The 2 milk trucks headed to Fargo here last night. They ended up opening the roads or lifting the no travel advised. I don't remember what time it was, but around 8 o'clock, 7, 8 o'clock I think last night, maybe even 6 o'clock. So they ended up going to Fargo. I haven't heard, I guess, where they are at this point, but don't think they're back to Carrington yet. By our milk tanks, we've got 150,000 pounds in our silo at the moment. So a little over 2 loads. We'll keep milking into the silo. Probably put at least another load in there, maybe 2, depending on what time they're going to get here. So the idea is we want to be able to, we want to switch over to tank 1 when we know that they're going to be able to empty the silo and wash it prior to tank 1 being full again. And we've got some time, so we have to wash every 3 days minimum. We still have a little over a day, so not pushing for time yet there. Should hopefully be able to get 2 loads loaded today, get them back to Fargo, and then tentatively be back and load another 2 today, hopefully, if possible. Get back on schedule. This is why we put this silo in here 3 years ago, just for weather events like this when the roads are not good, and they don't have to push and try to go through terrible conditions to try to get the milk delivered. But we're gonna go get the payloader, start spreading some sand around. It's not near as icy as it was yesterday, which is kind of surprising, but still a lot of ice out there. It's just not as slippery as it was. Not raining anymore at the moment. We'll yeah, start to spread some sand around, especially in front of all the doors, so we can make sure we can get in with the feeding tractor. Still pretty icy out here, but definitely has improved a lot since yesterday. Just about like a skating rink. Sounds like the trucks, milk trucks left Fargo here this morning at around 7, so in theory they should be here shortly. They were not able to get our mineral load out of Minnesota here yesterday. Well, usually they get it on Mondays, but since Monday was Christmas, they didn't go Monday. With the storm yesterday, they didn't go yesterday, so they're planning to get that today. Should we're not short on inventory there, so not a problem there. And then they're gonna get a load of canola meal here today also, which looking at the road report shouldn't be a problem, hopefully, although as I'm standing here it's starting to kind of sprinkle a little bit again. Definitely the having rain on top of the ice is what made it extremely slippery yesterday. It's a little bit rougher here today, so that helps with traction a little bit. We had something similar like this one time in Canada, I remember, and it was so icy and the driveway was so smooth that we were able to get our hockey skates out and skate on around the yard, which is kind of crazy to think about. I think we definitely could have done that yesterday and even today if we wanted to. The roads are still plenty icy. There was so much ice built up on the curtains on the barns that actually the weight of the ice caused the curtains to open up about 6 inches. So in the calf barn, I went and knocked all the ice off last night because they were talking about possibly us getting some snow, so I wanted to make sure that those curtains were closed. We didn't end up getting really any snow, but still good to get that ice knocked off, and I think there's a few more that we need to get knocked off. The curtains on the milking barns, they stay a little bit warmer with the cows in there, and the bottom curtains are actually open at the moment. They're temperature controlled. We set them at around 35 degrees, so it's right around that freezing point here again today. We'll see if the roads improve any throughout the day here. If it melts enough to get some of that ice off the road, some of that water off the road, we'll see. Looks like both milk trucks just pulled in here a little bit ago. One of them's loading, one of them's waiting to load. They came back from Fargo together. I don't know if they'll wait for each other, probably not. think they might be heading back to Fargo right away, try to get these unloaded yet today. We can't unload at all times at the plant in Fargo. They usually want to have them out of there by 2:30, but if they got winter weather like this, usually they'll try to help us out a little bit, let us unload a little bit later if we need to, or somebody will come in if it's quite a bit later if we ask them to. Not sure if that's their plan here today, but I would imagine, looks like they made pretty good time getting here from Fargo, so I would imagine they're going to try to get back, unload, and then get back here and load again so we can get the silo washed in time. I got back up to the front just in time to watch Ben and Wyatt leave. They did wait for each other. Sounds like they're heading back to Fargo. They are going to be in Fargo probably around 2 or maybe 2 to 3. So they are going to wait for them to unload, it sounded like. And then tomorrow morning, in theory, we'll be back on schedule. There's about, what is it? About 40,000 pounds of milk in the silo at the moment. There'll be 144-ish. 143, 144,000 pounds in the silo tomorrow morning for them. Alarm should go off for that amount, and then we'll be milking into a smaller tank, and then we'll wash the silo and be back on track in theory. Hopefully, if they make it to Fargo in time here, but I think they should. It's sun's out. It's extremely nice out right now. It's Ben was wearing a t-shirt, so it's. I think the roads for sure, at least the paved roads, I think they'll clear up pretty quickly. I'll go outside, show you guys how nice it is. Wash just started there, so it's gonna get loud in there, but I did get my drone up in the air just as they were leaving, so I got a drone shot of that, and I almost crashed into the power lines that are across the road from the dairy, so you'll probably see that too. But I think I'll end this video here, maybe get my skates and do some skating out here, because now the paved roads, they'll clear up pretty quickly, but the gravel roads with the packed ice and snow on them, that's going to take a little more time, and with it warming up like it is now, it really starts to become pretty slippery. But appreciate you guys watching. Questions, comments, post them down below, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video.